So, what is going on? You are in the process of selling your home. You're thinking about what's the next step for you, what's the next plan, and you're looking, you're calculating, you're realizing, oh my goodness, the actual sale of the property, the money that I'm going to get from the property, is what I actually need to move on to my next venture or thing in life. I need that for the down payment on my new house. I need that for the down payment on my rental, or to be able to pay for moving expenses, or even if it's not that, I need is a couple more weeks or days or even months to be able to get the things out of my home so I can go on to the next place. So how do you set up or arrange, or is it even possible to live in your house or in the property after you've sold it? And spoiler alert, the short answer is yes, it is possible if you are minding and taking care of a few things. And that's what we're going to talk about today on the Life in Transitions Experts YouTube channel, podcast, Facebook group. And I'm very excited to be here with you, Courtney Rollins, the owner and operator of Estate Pro Service, where I help families. I'm a life transitions property specialist. I help families and people who are going through some of the biggest changes in their life find solutions to their properties. And with that, there are a lot of things that happen in the surrounding and around that area that I'm also able to help and support people with. It really depends on your situation. So today, we're going to talk about on the LITE, the Life and Transitions Experts YouTube channel. All right, so I've had this happen several times with folks, property owners, people who have bought their property and allowed them to stay in there after. It's called post-closing occupancy. So, as a seller, what do you want to look out for? And even if you're an investor or cash buyer or someone who's just buying a property and wants to think of ways that you can offer solutions to folks and get properties under contract, quite often at a discount because you are solving someone's pain. Let's take a look at this today. All right. So, number one, you probably want to find a cash buyer in this situation. Most traditional lending partners or lending institutions are not going to allow for a post seller occupancy. Sometimes there's challenges to the insurance that needs to be set in there. Sometimes there are other challenges to the stipulation. So if someone is spending their own money, has their own source of cash, they usually can set the rules more than someone who has a traditional lending partner. So you're looking for cash buyers, sort of like a State Pro Service or other folks that are doing who are able to pay for things in cash. So that's number one. This is not particular order, but this is number one what we're going through today. All right. So find a cash buyer. Number two, make sure you negotiate the terms and that is documented. Negotiating the terms of what is going to be the stipulation. Is there going to be money put back? Quite often, when I'm doing this, we'll make sure that there are some proceeds that remain in the escrow account. What's an escrow account? That's an account that is set aside that I don't touch, that the seller doesn't touch, that quite often the closing attorney or the title company will hold on to, and you can have that as security for someone like me. So just to protect the investment, the purchase we just made. And so quite often out of that comes, if there's going to be rent, this can come directly from there. If there's going to be money or funds held against any damages that happen during that post occupancy, it can be pulled from the escrow account. Or if the person is not able to move in the times that were expressed or determined by the terms, then that's a way to protect the seller or the buyer. But it also gives the seller a good chunk of the money that they need, so they can have it for whatever they need it for, whether it's moving expenses, which is usually generally what they need it for. So make sure the terms are negotiated and make sure that they're documented. That's going to be another one down the list. But determine, what is the cost. Is it going to be rent? Is it going to be just some funds that's held over? Depending on how long it's going to be, quite often that's more that it's used for. I'm in a situation now where a person wants me to basically buy their property and rent it back to them because they don't want to keep up with the condition of the property, and they that is the main issue. There's a lot of challenges going on with the property, and we're in negotiation now to make sure they're protected and we're protected, and determine what the rent or the cost is going to be that's going to be held. And again, make sure you actually draft an agreement, either within the purchase agreement or separate, but it's actually documented and signed by all parties so everyone knows what's up, what's going on, and there's no surprises. That shouldn't be a surprise, but make sure you do that. All right. And number five, Make sure that you keep the property maintained. You don't have to necessarily fix and repair all the things. You probably got sold the property as is, but don't go ripping things down, damaging things, tearing things up that could take into the cost of the post occupancy agreement. And it's probably not supported by the terms that you have that you're under contract with. So make sure you keep the property relatively maintained. All right. And make sure you have your move out plan prior. You have a set plan of when, the day, how you're moving out, even especially if you're using some of the funds to move. So make sure you have that set up and plan and that you execute that plan. All right, so let's run through them again very quickly. One, you're going to probably need a cash buyer 9 times out of 10, a cash buyer. You're going to need to make sure the terms are negotiated, make sure that the how much the rent and the occupancy is going to cost is determined, and that is documented in a draft in a post-closing occupancy agreement that you all agree on. Make sure that you don't damage the property while you're there, that you maintain the upkeep while you're still living, and also make sure that you plan the actual move out. Looking for a cash buyer, check out Courtney. Check out me out at CourtneyEstateProService.com. Or check out our Google reviews with all the sellers we work with and buyers and others. We pay, of course, all the closing costs, which means more money gets into your pocket. And there are plenty of other benefits to work with us. So feel free to check us out. Regardless, I hope it works out for you. And yeah, I hope you also can hit that like and subscribe to support the work we're doing here in the Life in Transitions Experts YouTube channel. Subscribe, leave a comment. If you want to be a guest on the show because perhaps you're a practitioner or you have questions, reach out to us. All the content pretty much comes from real life experience so that it can best serve you all. And yeah, that's the LITE, Life in Transitions Experts YouTube channel, podcast, all that good stuff. LITE, let your light shine. Cheers.